Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Dr. Muhammad Arif, and today I will talk about hydroponic fodder production. Today I will cover in detail what is hydroponic, why hydroponic fodder production is the need of day, step-by-step procedures to grow hydroponic fodder. The first thing is, what is hydroponic? Hydroponic is a scientific way of growing crops or fodders in water without any soil in controlled environment. In hydroponic technology, water is enriched with well-balanced nutrients which are essential for plant growth and better yield. Here you can see that from straight grain, the grain sprout, and within 7 days the crop is ready to offer to the animals. Hydroponic fodder is young tender grass grown from a cereal grain, mostly barley, wheat, maize, corn and oat. The word hydroponic is derived from a word which means water. With a greenhouse with a dimension of 25 feet into 10 feet into 10 feet, we can get 600 kg of hydroponic fodder daily, and it's a very good option for livestock production. Different hydroponic fodders can be grown from barley, oat, wheat, rye, sorghum or corn. Why hydroponic fodder is the need of day? Rapid urbanization and shrinkage of grazing areas, the dairy owners to look for alternative and sustainable method for quality green fodder production. Due to high labor costs, non-availability of irrigated lands and high land prices made the dairy business to face many challenges to meet the growing milk demand. Here you can see the chart which shows that in Pakistan, in total cultivated area, only 14% is given to the fodder production, which is very less, and we have to see the alternative ways of the green fodder. In this chart, you can observe that livestock are getting only 64% of the required crude protein and 70% of the required TDN. The livestock are 38% deficient in crude protein and 26% deficient in TDN. TDN is the energy unit, while the crude protein shows the level of crude protein. In countries like Pakistan, India and Bangladesh, we have less fodder production during the month June, July and December, January. In order to cope up the deficiency, we have to look into other solutions for the green fodder production. The other problem with our Pakistani livestock farmer is that most of them have 1 to 2 animals. They are small animal holders. Generally, the feed cost is about 70 to 75% of the total milk cost, wherein green fodder contributes 30 to 35% of the total input feed. It is very clear that with increasing cost and depleting natural resources, sustainable technology like hydroponics would be the key driver of the dairy industry future. Here you can see a table in which we find that the livestock population is increasing since 2016 in almost all categories: cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, camels. We observe upward trend as regarding the livestock population. similar is the trend with the livestock products. The milk production of the animal is also increasing since 2016, and similarly, or in other words, we can say directly proportion, the human milk consumption also has increased. A good trend, livestock sector has shown a growth of 4%. Livestock having share of 60.54% in agriculture and 11.22% in GDP recorded the growth at 4% against the target 3.8%. These values have been quoted from Economic Survey of Pakistan 2018-19. As land prices are going up, irrigated lands are limited to meet the dairy animal industry demand for the green fodder forces to implement the sustainable method of growing fodder using hydroponic technology. The main point of interest is that hydroponically grown forage can be obtained round the clock. Moreover, we can get 10 kg of fresh forage of hydroponic fodder from only just 1 kg of grain seeds. It is recommended that under the semi-desert conditions, the production of hydroponically grown forage from the wheat and barley is most beneficial for ruminants. Research has indicated that hydroponic fodder is rich source of nutrients and give an improved performance to livestock. The production of hydroponically grown fodder is free from hormones, herbicides, pesticides, and antibiotics. It's a very good gesture. That means that it is totally organic. Commercial hydroponic fodder units are not in purchasing capacity of small farmers, especially in developing countries like Pakistan, India, or Bangladesh. In order to overcome expenses, low-cost hydroponic fodder systems are designed from low-cost available material as compared to expensive environmentally controlled units. If humidity, temperature, and light and air circulation is kept at optimum levels, the efficiency of hydroponic fodder production can be improved. Hydroponic fodder is a good source of vitamin like vitamin C, riboflavin, thiamine, niacin, biotin, vitamin A, vitamin E, antioxidants like beta carotene, and free folic acid. Hydroponic fodder contain grass juice factor that improves feed efficiency of livestock. It also reduces phytate in the grains. Sprouting grains cause increased activity of hydrolytic enzyme improvements in the content of total protein, fat, certain essential amino acids, total sugars, B group vitamins, and a decrease in the dry matter, starch, and anti-nutrients. The increased content of the protein, fiber, fat fiber, and total ash are only apparent at attributable to the disappearance of starch. However, improvement in amino acid composition, B group vitamins, sugar, protein, and starch digestibility, and decrease in the phytates and protease inhibitors are the metabolic effects of sprouting process. Feeding of hydroponic maize and barley fodder up to 40% substitution increase the digestibility of the nutrients, feed conversion efficiency, and body weight gains of growing goats. Milk yield was improved 13.7% when dairy cattle were fed on hydroponic fodder. It happened due to higher digestibility of the fodder. Hydroponic fodder is alkaline in nature, and this improves the immune system of the livestock. Antioxidants are available in the sprout, which helps in the improvement of animal immune system. Hydroponic fodder maize is more nutritious than conventional fodder maize in terms of available organic matter, crude protein, ether extract, and nitrogen free extract content. You can observe in this table that hydroponic crude protein of hydroponic maize fodder is 13.57 as compared to the conventional maize fodder, that is 10.67. That means definitely the CP of the hydroponic fodder is comparatively higher as compared to the conventional fodder. Similarly, in this table, you observe that the CP of the maize, hydroponic maize grain, was almost 18 to 21%. In this data, similarly, you observe that the protein level was higher, that 13.57 as compared to 10.67 in the conventional green fodder. Regarding the advantages of hydroponic fodder, you require less land, less feed waste, no fertilizers, no pesticides, no herbicides, and similarly, in case of conventional green fodder, you require fertilizers, you require more days for the green fodder, almost 60 to 70 days for cultivation. In our different experiments at Sargodha University, we observe higher weight gains, higher milk production in animals when hydroponic fodder was delivered to the different dairy animals or in animals where the growth performance was observed. We also observed that the animal had better immune system, they had better heat cycles, they had improved fertility. Here in this graph, you can simply observe that in hydroponic fodder, the average weight gains were higher as compared to the conventional fodders. Similarly, in this chart, you can observe that the hydroponic feed reduces the cost of feeding per kg of body weight gain in rupees. The feed cost in case of hydroponics is much less as compared to the conventional fodder. We observed improved semen volume when hydroponic fodder was delivered to the animals. Similarly, increased semen straw production was also observed when hydroponic fodder was given to the animals. As I mentioned earlier, it requires minimum labor. You can get many heavy yields in a small area. You require less operating cost, less feed waste, less environmental pollution. In conventional fodder, you require much more investments as compared to the hydroponic fodder. In hydroponic fodder production, you can make the rack or a unit by using even bamboos or steel structure. But in case of conventional fodder production, you require a lot of land, machinery, equipment, infrastructure, transportation, fertilizers, and labor, insecticides, pesticides. The only disadvantage in the hydroponic fodder production is that if you are not expert, there might be a mold infestation which can create problem. There might be some fungus growth. If with the passage of time, if you get you will get expert, and such kind of risk will definitely get reduced. Here you can see the step-by-step growth activity in the hydroponic fodder. From grains, first they sprout, and then the sprouting, when there are sprouts, they increase in size, and similarly in 7 days you get a very nutritious young fodder with the high palatability and with the high digestibility. It's a very good solution for the livestock. In this graph you can see how the hydroponic fodder grows. You can observe the height of the leaf within 7 days. Similarly, in this chart you can observe the average growth rate observed during the production of hydroponic fodder from day 1 to 7. Now we come to the step-by-step procedure to grow hydroponic fodder. The first instruction is that always use fresh and good quality seed for hydroponic fodder production. Never use 1 year old or expired seeds. When the seeds are of good quality, you will have a good hydroponic fodder production. The things you need are buckets, some painter bags, bleach, and the measuring cup. First you have to take the seed. For example, if I have if I have to grow 10 kg of hydroponic fodder, I will measure 1 kg of seed. Suppose I am using wheat grains. I will wash it thoroughly and clean it, all the dust from it. Always keep it in your mind that discard all the floating seeds which you observe during the wash. All the floating seeds are dead seeds or with low productivity. They must not be used for the hydroponic cultivation. Here you can see how we do the washing. This also shows that how it can be buckets and the bags can be used for repeated washing of the seeds. Keep it in your mind that in a bucket just put almost 5 ml or 5 to 10 ml of bleach on the first day of soaking seed. When you have thoroughly washed your seeds and kept in a bucket, fill the bucket with the water and put almost 5 ml of bleach in it and keep it overnight. The important thing is that it is better to keep in the dark environment. Either cover it with some blanket or some cloth. In the morning, drain all the water and cover the seeds completely with the wet cloth. And second important thing, that keep it in the dark environment. It is very important. In a day or two, you will observe the plumule and radicle coming out from the seeds. In other words, the sprouts come out from the seeds. Always keep it in your mind. Always wash your seeds and keep it in, drain it completely and cover it with the wet cloth. Otherwise, the seeds might get fungus. Whenever you observe the sprouts coming out from the seed, shift them to a already washed tray or plastic tray and spread the sprouts in the tray in a manner that they do not form double layer or triple layer. Always keep the sprouts in a single layer. They will give you a very good performance. We can use different kinds of racks. Even you can use the racks like this, which I have shown in the picture. or you can use bamboo racks, you can use any kind of arrangement. But the important point is that on one side of the tray you have to make the holes. When you spray or just sprinkle the water on the hydroponic fodder, the water will trickle down to the lower tray, and in a similar manner in all the trays, the water should not stay in the trays. It must come out. All trays must be clear from the water. After every 2 to 3 hours, the whole trays require the spray of water, either manually or by some semi-automatic or automatic arrangement. You must spray the water completely for 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, you will not get a better production. The important thing, I'm mentioning it repeatedly, that water must not stay in the tray. It must be drained out. You have to make some arrangements, either make some holes at one end of the tray, keep the tray in a slope arrangement as shown in the figure or diagram or in a picture. In this way the water will not stay and the roots will not get rotted, or they will not get any kind of fungus. Here in Sargodha University, we almost for 3 hours operated semi-automatic system for the hydroponic unit. We use different arrangements. This is the semi-automatic unit in which we use the time relay machines. Avoid directs. Once the seeds have been sprouted, when you have spread it in the tray, do not take them to the direct sunlight. Avoid direct sunlight on the sprouted seeds. Otherwise, you will not have a good growth of hydroponic fodder. Growth pattern of the sprouted seed in 7 days is shown in the diagram. The good thing in the hydroponic fodder is that you are also getting a good growth of the pillimule or stem, and also the roots. The animal consumes this whole fodder as such, both stem and the roots, and this gives them a better immune system or defense system, and the animals remains healthy. You can grow the hydroponic fodder in small trays like this, or even in big trays, in shoppers, in plastic bags. Hydroponic fodder can be fed to the rabbits, to the hen, to the goats, to the sheep, to the dairy animals, to the camel, to the horses. It's a very good alternative method or alternative fodder for the animals. We have observed that almost 70% of the concentrate was replaced by the hydroponic fodder. In near future, I will share the data of different experiments which we conducted at Sargodha University, and show how there was a trend. It was very good to see that almost the animals in which we just gave 30% concentrate, and hydroponic fodder gave the same performance as in which we gave the concentrate 100%.